G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a HK G28. As part of the Escape from Boston SR25 and G28 mod, today we'll be looking at the G28 by itself. We've made a different video on the SR25 a while back, but looking at it just at face value, I feel like these weapons are going to play fairly similarly. Now, the G28 is based on a real-life firearm with the same namesake. It's a German-made designated marksman rifle that was originally developed around the mid to early 2000s-ish, and then been deployed in service from 2006 onwards to this very day. So it's had a bit of longevity thus far, so they must have done pretty well with it. Essentially, this thing's like a cousin of the HK417. Now, the HK417, firing the 5.56 intermediate cartridges, had a bigger sister called the HK417. Now, that one fired the full power 7.62 cartridges, and most of the parts you'll find in the HK417 can be found in here. So they use that as a little bit of an interim before they fully deployed this rifle, but I think this is slightly more refined and improved upon the HK417, and it's got that German military designation in G28. So, you know, this one's made from the German military. Is it law-friendly? Probably not. Do I care? No. Well, real-life nonsense aside, what do you get with this thing? Well, let's start off with the attachments. First of all, you've got the receivers. We scroll all the way down to advanced receiver. That's going to give us the best damage. 316 with an improved fire rate is a pretty good start, I would think. Next, legendary effect provided by legendary modification. We'll skip over that. And you get a foregrip slot because this thing is covered in Picatinny rails, so you want to utilize all of them. Now, Battlefield 4 logic is telling me to throw an angled grip on it because that'll reduce my recoil in the first shot by 33%, which is all of them on a semi-automatic rifle. But there are other options here, including this one, this weird-ass foregrip by Hera. You can have that if you feel like it. There's also some Tango down ones, a little bit of a stubby grip. Let's throw that one on. We'll go in black. Although we could go, what is that, flat desert earth? I think someone actually said to me what that acronym was or whatever. It's not really an acronym, but I think flat desert earth. You might have to remind me. I don't think I've got that right. Next, we've got the backup irons, which pick what you want. If you're going to be utilizing a little bit of a reflex sight or a scope, you can have these and they look cool but don't really do anything besides obvious cosmetic. Next, we've got the stock. You can have a HK417 adjustable or an E2. This one's collapsible. This one also adjustable. It's different somehow. Probably only in looks. Next, you can change the pistol grip. Many different things. You won't be seeing this during first-person combat, so pick whatever one you feel is cool. That one's pretty neat. It's got a palm shelf on it, so that's got to be comfortable, right? And you can change the material from G28 to M110A1. I believe that's the US military designation of this rifle. So yeah, you want to make it look more like a US version production rifle for military, then you can do that if you want. Also makes it a nice gunmetal grey color, which I appreciate it. And next, you've got sights. You can throw on mounts for reflex sights if you feel like it, or you could throw sights straight on. Different types of iron sights. And there we go. There's some holographics. Some scopes will be found if you scroll even further down. Let's get ourselves a nice scope for sniping. We want a 4x scope. 5 might be too much, although honestly, I don't like the color of that one, and we're down to that. That's better. That's nice. And there's also an option to change the magnification. You could see that one was either 5x or 12x. We'll come back to that a little bit later. Now, this has got a designated suppressor thing about it as well. That's not under your muzzle slot. It's quite different. But if you do use a suppressor, is it going to delete the muzzle's attachment? No, actually. The muzzle you can still attach on if you feel like it. So perhaps you could use a little bit of recoil control and a suppressor at the same time. No, you cannot. Well, some of these you must be able to throw a suppressor right over. That's my only logical conclusion. So we'll go Daniel Defense because it's got some alliteration on it. And now I lost my place. Next, you can change the color of the mount if you feel like it. So if you're going for more of a tan look with that, you can make that to suit, but we're going for a more dark approach on this thing. So we're going to have to change the color of this handguard there because that's annoying me. And here is the muzzle 25 times? Actually 10 times. Oh, maybe the scope in real life goes up to 25 times, but that's ridiculous to use in Fallout 4, so it just goes to 10 times. Either that or some sort of Escape from Tarkov modification that is just somehow leaked into this game. Who even knows? Alright, here's the handguard, so you can change it from different things. This one's covered in way more Picatinny rails, so I believe I'll get more of an option to use attachments there, but maybe you could pin rails in there. Who knows? I think I'm going to keep that one. On the right of your rail, you can have various things of laser sights in different colors, shapes, and sizes, and also flashlights as well. You could probably do a triple flashlight matrix to blind your enemies before you send them to hell. So there's options on the right, on the left, and on the top, there's even more options for that, for extra laser sights for supreme hipfire accuracy. This one's going to be super stealthy, so we won't touch that in terms of its extra laser sights attachments. We'll find a different rifle for that. But you can also have a damage slider here. If the damage isn't quite doing it for you at 396, once again boosted by Ace Operator, you can tune that up from 20, 40, 60, 80, up to 90 for 618 damage, which is going to be more than enough, you would think, for a weapon like this. And most curiously, you've got no options to increase your magazine size. So, I don't know, maybe they didn't have the assets to do that or didn't want to import SR25 magazines, just shove them in there. I wouldn't have noticed, but there's no modifications to put drums or quick eject mags onto this thing at all, so a little bit disappointing, but what have you. The G28 and also the SR25 are injected onto the level list at level 38, so I'm here at Cleo's and she's been consistently dropping these for me as I've been recording other weapon videos. I've always checked to see whether these are in there, so it's a consistent thing. That is very expensive, but you're getting a lot of power out of it, and plus it's modders. They can do whatever they want with the price. I can still buy it anyway. I'm rich. There is also a unique to be found hidden out there in the game world. Now, the only clue is it's related to the Minuteman, so I ran straight to the castle, and, well, I was only half right, because it is in the castle, but it's in the interior. If you've ever done Old Guns, you'll find General McGunn there. I was about to say General Becker, but no. He's the guy that led the fall of the Minuteman. Anyways, here's Jaeger. It's not legendary, so I can't show you off the thing, but, hang on, let me just get the weapon out for you. Here it is. Is it a reference to that man from, Rainbow Six Siege? Maybe. Calibrated powerful receiver with a good scope. Okay, it's also got a suppressor. No legendary effects, so I was hoping for instigating, but not today. Also, well, if you're wondering what this scarf is for, the Pies are back on the winners list, and we are here at Immersive Gunners Plaza once again. And I've made an adjustment to the loadout. This thing, I've got the 25 times magnification or the 10 times, depending on whether you are scope half full or scope half empty type person. But that's what it looks like in first person. You've got the see-through scopes happening. Obviously, plenty of recoil, but you can spam this thing as fast as possible. So if you're up close and you're panicking a little bit, you can get away with a little bit of panic fire. That's fine. I've also got the tactical reload solution on this thing right now, so we'll slap the thing silly when we want to hit the bolt back or hit the bolt release to make it go forward. That's what it looks like in third person. I gotta say, I kind of like this better than the SR25. It's this giant German designated marksman rifle that seems to be AN-94ing right now. I'm not doing that. That's the weapon doing it itself. So if you're in third person, it can fire a little bit faster than what you might think. So look out for that. Here's Jaeger. It's got a slightly different scope. So I've left that to be slightly less range. This thing also got the calibrated powerful receiver, which gives it this paint. So I changed it to an advanced receiver just to up its damage, but then it stripped the camo paint. So we've got to keep that on. I'm not sure about this banana colored scope on the top of it. That's just sort of jarring from the rest of it. And lastly, I've got this one. It's got a triple hipfire laser sight matrix on it, and as you can tell, is going to be an extremely accurate rifle. We've also got a cool air tech on the top, so it should be nice and aligned for using in VATS. Well, optimized for it, I should say. Let's get started, and we'll go to the little sniping spot, and if we can't kill most of all the gunners from this bot in general, then I'm going to be pretty surprised. We've got the power, we've got all of the accuracy in the world, at least if we don't fire this thing too fast. We've got to find the heads here, then we can, then we'll be laughing. We'll go into Scott Pendle's mode, slow down time. It's not a cliche, it actually happens. Sure beats using VATS. Now we should be getting criticals on every shot, so we should be able to go for just standard chest shots right now and drop them. So yeah, like I was talking about before, I think that any damage over than what we were getting without any damage enhancers, just with the advanced receiver and all of the relevant perks, I think it was just fine. And we've got plenty of Grim Reaper sprint procs here, so kind of cheesing it, but so far, so very good. I think that's enough from this sniper. We are definitely in danger now, and not to... I may have flattered this thing's damage numbers by hitting him with sneak criticals and actual normal criticals, so we'll try to pick off a much further range target if they want to stick their heads up. Just enough for them to be hit. There we go. So as you can tell, not quite as devastating when we're not getting those sneak criticals, but it's still doing a fairly competent job. Like any vanilla game is going to get absolutely trounced by this. I'm thinking you might find the, I guess, combat rifle with the 308 receiver to be a close vanilla game equivalent of this thing. It's going to outdamage that by a significant margin. I do like the see-through scopes. Normally I've got a little bit of a problem with them, because they seem to exacerbate the visual recoil of whatever rifles you're using, but I don't know, the COD ported animations that we're using aren't doing that at all, which I think is great. Also, I didn't say this earlier, but I'm sure if they're watching they would have noticed that JPEG said that I should get a mod. Are you just running up to punch the ghoul? Alright, have fun with that. Download a mod that removes the highlighting for the weapons workbench, so now you can actually see what happens when I modify a rifle. Honestly, that mod's been a long time coming. I should have had that mod ages ago, but anyways, man, using VATS with this weapon, it makes it a little bit too easy, so maybe we go back over to our... We're just determined to punch on with a ghoul, aren't you? Okay, I'm going to leave those kills to him as I try to scurry into some cover. Now we can use this thing to its full close quarters potential. Oh, it's glorious. But like I was going on about before, you won't get that kind of damage out of a combat rifle at all. And without all of this extra magnification, I feel like it's way more controllable than the SR25, or maybe my aim's just better today. You don't quite know. Or maybe it's like Lily's aim is better because, I don't know. Should have saved the German DMR for the German character that I made. But that's days away at this point. She's very last on the list. Second last. But yeah, it looks like the only ones we got left are the ones that are inside here. It seems that the people that were trying to punch on with the ghoul didn't get the job done, so I don't know what's going on there. Either they've been chased out of the gunner's plaza. May have happened, you know. Also, if you utilize this thing in slow motion VATS and just spam on the trigger, you can fire this thing much further, or much faster than you would when compared to real time, so look out for that. You might consider doing that for a quick, cheap burst of damage. You could have argued that I should have been shooting at the one that was pointing their rifle at me, but no matter. This thing has kind of crushed everything, and that blistering start that we had with our scoped version, popping off heads left and right, that's really just set this whole task. It's so easy when you do stuff like that, and that's what this weapon is capable of doing. So if you're a stealth sniper build, like, how could I recommend literally anything else? This is perfect for that role. You've got good DPS when you're sniping. You'll have plenty of... you can shoot them in the head once and they'll die if you've got good enough VATS accuracy or just good enough accuracy in general. And in close quarters, it'll stand up because you can just spam on the trigger and fire out all of these bullets forever. So there's really not a reason why you shouldn't be using this if you're on a stealth thing. Perhaps... maybe you don't like the fact that it's a highly modern rifle that's all tactical, but honestly, get on this. Get on the tactical guns. It's fun. Trust me. Now, honestly, I can't quite remember whether we got any sniper knockdowns utilizing our SR25. I want to say since this is a see-through scope setup, the keyword's not there, which is okay. I'm just going to take out some Rust Devils here. If you know Lily's backstory, then this is a pretty significant little event right here. Being a former Rust Devil herself, you understand. Anyways, we'll pop a fresh magazine in. He should be able to finish off whoever's out there soonish. There we go. There's our sneak criticals. He's such a large target that spamming these shots with sneak criticals, easy job to do. But now... the time for that has passed, and we've got absolutely 0 knockdowns throughout the entirety of that, so... which is okay. Okay, you notice that this one's a little bit slower because it's got a calibrated powerful receiver, so why don't we utilize this thing to its strength and spam a bunch of criticals in his face. That's pretty good, I guess. Ow, don't do that. Just cancel that stagger. Now the question is, do I have the power in this to out DPS him? I tell you what, if he keeps doing that, then I'm gonna say yes. Nope. Nope. He's making it too easy today. Alright, let's get a full VATS shot on him. I kind of want some of these crits back, so we'll grind some crits up on his face. That's pretty good. Now, I wonder if I can replicate the double firing thing that I was doing before. Don't think that's happened just yet. Nope. Full bar of AP. We'll cover the reload at the same time. Hopefully, we can get a couple more lucky procs. Not feeling lucky after whipping that first 95er. There we go. Okay, we toyed with him a little bit there. We could have done that a little bit quicker if we were, you know, sneak critting the whole time. So, you know what we're going to do for the next fight? I'm going to sneak crit the whole time. Bet you didn't see that one coming. So you rejoined me here in the glowing sea. It's the dead of night, and we've got a two-pronged assault lined up to finish us off for today. I think this weapon can do it, but we're going to tilt things heavily in our favor in order to get this done. Our first target is going to be this ghoul, and also these insipid arachnids, as it turns out. Get out of here. Anyway, so the method here is past your third target, your third kill, you'll get instant crits. So we'll just spam crits on this guy's face. The mysterious stranger has shown up there, which is unfortunate because I'm going to need some of these ghouls. So we'll run through the piss pool and see what we can bring out. Ghouls 1, 2, 3, perfection. Okay. So the idea here is to quickly finish off these ghouls, and then we can carry these crits into this next fight against this gigantic blood-sucking monster. So far, so good. And if we can quickly sneak around, that would be ideal. I see mantises, man-tits ×3. Not all on the same bloke, though. No, they're all different. A timely level up there gives me a little bit more AP than I perhaps would have had otherwise, and that allows me to get a few more crits into this monster. And the mysterious stranger has shown up again. He can cover some of this AP refresh. Oh, wrecked. There we go. There's also a Deathclaw over there. as you can tell, out of render distance. But now I've shot at him, I'm going to commit to this. So anyways, so that there was the HKG28. And as expected, it did pretty much do the same thing as the SR25. But I suppose whether it's down to looks or other options for performance, I don't know. I think I like this one better because I think it looks cooler. I like the German-made rifles. They do a pretty good job with them generally. Not good enough that, you know, they won a couple of world wars using the weapons that they made, but I still think they look cool. So anyways, if you want to see this weapon in your game, check out link in the description. And that's it. So, like I was talking about before, like, I highly recommend this for any sniper mod build out there because it'll just crush everything and maybe bordering on overpowered the way that you can utilize this thing, but still I think it's a really fun weapon to fuck around with if you are into those tactical mods. I'm halfway there. I'm not dressed like all tactical, but that's okay. We're meant to be dressed like this. It's a fantasy game like Skyrim, right? Also, the mod said that it doesn't work with booby jiggle physics. The mod doesn't. I feel like it does. It definitely does. So you're wrong about that one. I downloaded a physics mod just for that joke, and it's staying.